Yo, what's up? Welcome back. Episode 6 of Fraud Watch. I'm here with Jackson again. Big week. I'm happy.
Big week.
I'm
He's
super
got his
happy.
win. He's back on the board, guys.
I'm back on the board 2 and 3. Knocked off.
It was a shaky one.
It was a good matchup.
It was a great matchup. We hit on our matchup of the weeks this week.
Yeah, I think we did. Took down Jai. We'll start with that. Little recap. And we'll start with mine and Jai's matchup, one of the matchups of the week. I managed to defeat Jai in a very close game. It came down literally to the last play. I'm actually kind of glad though. They actually took Shahid off for the very last play. I was looking for number 22 out there. I was like, where is he? And he wasn't there. So, and mine and Jai just quickly was a nail biter. It was 132.66 to 131.84. So if there was a reception there for either one of our players, particularly Jai, he wins the week.
Or a sack on defense. Anything like that.
Yeah. And Jai had the highest scoring defense this week. Brock Bowers went absolutely nuclear. And I had T. Higgins, who went crazy, and Brandon Ayuk finally had his big game. And Josh Jacobs went well as well. So that was our matchup of this week, was me versus Jai, and I got the dub on that one. Our other matchup of the week was Jackson versus Connor. And How do you feel about that one, Jackson?
I went down to Connor. It's unfortunate. It was a good game. Connor dropped 152. I dropped 138. So high scoring, but at the end of the day, got beaten by some questionable players.
Hey, you can be honest.
Okay, 152 points from a bunch of shitters. I mean, Connor must be doing something right over there.
Yeah, I was talking to Connor today because we're going to do a trade. And he goes, because I want another wide receiver like I said to you. So I was talking about like Devontae. And he said he was worried to trade him away because his team's doing so well and all that. And he wants to keep his team. And I said to him, hey, like, I guess it's kind of a little bit hard to trade players away when everything you touch turns to fucking gold.
Connor's gone crazy the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Drake London and DJ Moore finally decided to be good wide receivers this week. Just looking at his top performers and seeing those three ugly mugs looking back at me is quite depressing.
Yeah.
We both were without our best players, but Connor had more shitters in the team and still managed to drop 150 on my dome. So I've got to play some better defense next week.
Is what it is. Next one, we have Puff Daddy. So Bryn taking on Liam, and Liam got absolutely rocked. His team's just not doing it. Kyron trade hasn't worked out for him. So Bryn had Jamar Chase, who dropped 41 points. Insane. Other than that, he was pretty solid across the board. No real massive stand-up performers, I don't think, for Bryn there. His team just did quite well. Dalton Kincaid dropping another stinker. And the Dallas defense outscoring everyone on Liam's team. Next up, we had Tommy versus Tamati. Now,
what a game.
How good. Tommy fighting through all of the fire and managed to scrape away with a win. 109 to 95. Fantastic week from him. Lamar Jackson had a crazy game. And so did Brian Thomas Jr.
Chase Brown as well.
Chase Brown, yeah.
Chase Brown.
Debo is ass. No, I'm kidding. He's not ass. Debo's really good. And he's been playing really well, so we keep it that way. Anyways. And then our other matchup. Morgan v. Finn.
Wait, we need to talk more about Tams' team. He capitulated.
Okay, yeah, talk about Tams if you want. Yeah.
95 points. I mean, A-chain injury. Rashee Rice now out for the season, confirmed, even though I know he's holding on to that hope. You know, it was like 4 weeks,
Yeah.
Just a little bruise. Yeah, out for the season. Maybe next year. Well, actually not next year because he's going to get suspended as well. But yeah, the only real notable performance was Mike Evans. Kyron Williams in an easy matchup, dropped 15 points. Not that impressive. And to score under 100 points, you're probably one of like 3 or 4 people to do it, and they're consistently being ranked at the bottom of the list. So, bit of shape up, Tams.
And then and then like you're saying about injuries, so he's got Devon A-Chain out this week. He's got Kyron Williams out this week. Rashee Rice for the season. It's not looking good for Tamati.
Not looking good at all, Brev.
That's all right. Hopefully he gets a little bounce back week this week. Also, Tamati was the lowest score of the week, by the way, with 95 points. So next up, we had Morgan versus Finn. Now, Morgan absolutely dusted Finn. 136 points to Finn's 99. Now, yeah, Morgan just had a good week across the board. You know, a couple low performers there, obviously. He had some people on a bye, but yeah, just consistent players. Joe Burrow went absolutely insane, getting him 33 points. And Finn just
Yep.
kind of had an average week across the board. So,
Yep. So next up, we've got who we picked for our matchups from this past week. So we've gone through the winners and the losers, but Braden and I and our guests did do our own selections. Starting off with Bryn versus Liam. All four of us went Bryn, Braden and I 1-0. Then moving on to Jackson versus Connor, everyone chose Jackson, so that makes us 1-1. Then moving on, I chose Tommy to beat Tarms. I want Iguodala, and Braden took Tarms, which was probably the most obvious choice of the week. However, I knew Tommy was going to prove the doubters wrong, so I'm putting as 1 and 2.
did you actually
Next up,
say Tommy's name?
I 100% said Tommy's name.
Or did you say
We can play
Iguodala?
the
Because
clip.
Iguodala's not playing this week, unfortunately.
I said, I want Tommy.
Oh,
We
okay.
can play
Sweet.
the clip.
That's right.
Then we both went Finn versus Morgan, and Morgan dusted Finn off. And then in the last game, we both went for Braden, therefore getting it right. And I went 3 and 5 on the week. Braden went 2 and 5. So we had our hot takes last week as well. Morgan came out with 6 hot takes, so we're not going to go through those. He got, I think, all of them wrong, maybe one right. Brendan came out and said that Dontavion Wicks and Rico Dowdle would outscore Brees Hall. In hindsight, probably not the hottest takes, because two players who have good little matchups and decent workloads would probably outscore a star. But Brees Hall having 6 points didn't really help the other side of the hot take. So Bryn got his hot take correct. Braden and I both got ours wrong. I said that Deontay Johnson would score less than Xavier Legette. However, they both scored less than 6 points. So who's the real loser? Me. And then Braden went and said that Alan Lazard will be better than Garrett Wilson this week and rest of the season. This past week, he wasn't. We'll see what it is for the rest of the season, but
So, boys, if you want to make a hot take on your team, I'll put my bank account in the chat, and you guys can send me some money, and then your guys' play will do well. Because apparently Garrett Wilson has best game of his entire life. But that's all right. To be fair, Alan Lazard still had a good game, so
yeah, he's got a tutty.
13.4 points, not bad.
We'll see how the Jets go. Then they're with their coach gone, fired, sacked, let a bowl.
Yeah,
We'll see how that goes.
Be very interesting.
Now we'll move into our frauds, eh? So our frauds that we have before last week were Jai, Braden, and Tommy.
Mm-hmm.
And we put a young Mr. Liam Adams on Fraud Watch. How did that go for him?
He's 1 and 4. Liam, I'm sorry to do this to you, man, but I'm looking at your team right now in front of me, and it's a bit smelly. I'm getting some smells from that team, you know? Yeah, his team is just, I don't know, other than Alvin Kamara, it's a bit, he has Amon-Ra St. Brown as his wide receiver on that team, but other than that, what is there? He's a bunch of maybe wide receiver 3s on his team. Yeah, Liam was on Fraud Watch, and what do you think, Jackson?
Fraud.
Fraud? Is that your call? Fraud.
The OG fraud is back to being a fraud.
The fraud is calling.
Yep. He dialed me up and he said, hey, mate, I'm a fraud.
Fair enough. So Liam is now a fraud. Now, let's just recap the other frauds that we had. You said we have myself, Jai, and Tommy.
Yep.
Is anyone off being a fraud there, or do you think needs to be some work done there?
I think there's still there's a trade. Trade just happened. I saw Travis Etienne.
Tank Dell for Travis Etienne.
Really? Tommy, hello.
Liam just panic traded.
Oh, that is Liam, yeah. I was going to say Tom's.
Liam is now the worst team in the league.
The rankings might have to change.
That's our live reaction to the trade that just went through. Tommy just traded Tank Dell to Liam for Travis Etienne.
These guys are both in fucking anything could happen land. Nico Collins, how long is he going to be out for? Will Tank even take a step up? You'd hope so. He was such a gun last year. You'd hope that he gets a bit more volume.
I like Tank Tao, but I
him to
don't like Liam giving up the running back for that.
no, and to think that he gave up Kyron Williams. He basically gave up
Oh my
Kyron
days.
Williams and Rashad White for Tank Dell and Brian Robinson.
Not
Not
a fan.
ideal.
But the thing
Not ideal.
is that usually when we say we don't like a trade, it ends up turning into gold. So we'll see what
Yep.
happens.
So good job, Liam.
Good job, Liam. Well done.
And when Tommy usually does a trade this year, it always usually goes down the shitter. So we might see some Travis Etienne 0.0s like Mark Andrews.
He traded Travis Etienne. Yeah, I think Liam for his team specifically slightly loses that trade, but I think for Tommy it's a massive upgrade because he's got no one else there apart from Jonathan Taylor.
No. And surely Liam could have gotten someone better than Tank Dell.
So frauds, we're saying that Jai's still a fraud, Tommy is still a fraud, and I'm still a fraud.
For the time being, when people put on a bit of a run or score
Yep.
wild scores, they can get off frauds. But until then, you stay in the bucket, the fraud bucket, with a new little
Nice.
member, Liam.
Yeah, and Liam,
They call it the Liam bucket.
I think Liam and Jai are definitely deserving of being on there. 1 and 4.
Yeah,
Big-
you and Tommy are closer to being out of the fraud bucket than those two for sure.
Yeah, that's right. I still got another week to prove myself, anyways.
Prisoner, locked up, can't get you off my mind, off my mind. Lord knows I tried a million times, oh, why can't you just let me go?
Now, since we're talking about frauds, who are we going to put on Fraud Watch this week?
I think it's obvious, isn't it?
I do too.
I hinted at it last week. I put it out there and I took it back because I was nervous. I was scared. I was being a bit too premature. But I solidified, bona fide. No way he's not on Fraud Watch. It's Samati.
Somebody's on Fraud Watch.
100%.
Now, Finn has dodged this for quite a while too, hasn't he? Because we've basically said that he's not a fraud because he's just been shit.
Yeah.
Is it just a lock on being a... Like, what are we going to do?
I think if we put him in Fraud Watch, you're kicking him while he's down. If you've never been anything to begin with, how can you be a fraud? That's my kind of idea. A fraud is someone that on the outside displays like they've got it going on and they just crash and burn. But Finn started at the bottom. He had a bit of success, and yeah, I don't think we can do it to him.
I can't put Finn on Fraud Watch because he actually beat me. So I'm the one that he's got there is me.
Yes, true.
I'll also be 0-5. Cool. So yeah, Tamati, you're on Fraud Watch. Now you do have a bit of a nicer matchup this week against Finn. So it's not just a win that gets you off the Fraud Watch this week. It needs to be significant.
And the last time, you can't be dropping anything less than 110.
Yeah, I agree there.
Otherwise, you might just stay on Fraud Watch again. But hey, when someone has come into a week on Fraud Watch against Finn, they're 0-1 against him.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, nice.
Finn's the fraud maker.
Yeah. Now let's get into our power rankings for week 6. Do you want to kick us off with your 10?
Yes, 10. I think it's no shock to anyone. Down one spot for me is Finn. His team is meh. Everyone's playing meh. He has a couple bright spots every week, but like last week, when bright spots don't appear, he drops less than 100. So my friend Finn, you've got some good players. You got no depth, and you're not scoring that many points. So 10 for me.
Now, down 2 spots for me this week is also Finn. Same reasons for you. I do like Finn's team.
Yep.
I think there are some players there that can perform. But yeah, again, it's just no one else in his team is performing. So yeah, if he maybe gets a trade going, maybe he's a bit active in the league, then we might say this. So I'm putting Finn on watch here. Maybe start being a bit of a more active manager.
My 9, down 3 spots, is Liam. Especially after that trade, you've got good points for, which I can't knock you for. You're playing hard opponents most weeks. You're dropping a decent amount of points. I think you're 4th most points for in the league. So like in that regards, you're doing a good job. However, it's about wins in this industry, and you're not getting the wins. And it's about good teams in the industry, and you're trading away some of your best players. So this week I've got you at 9.
At 9 this week, I've also got Liam. Same thing. Since he came on the potty and talked all that smack to Morgan and chirped a bit, he's been on the downward spiral. He's had the what's it called, the Jai effect, the power rank me up effect.
Yep.
And he's just not doing it. Bit of a low score this week. That trade just went through. I don't think it's a bad trade, but I think it makes Tommy's team significantly better. So at 8, another 1-4 team here. I'm going with Jai. So he's up 1 spot for me from last week. He had a massive score this week, 130 points. You know, you can't shade him too much for that. But he is 1-4. Yeah, it was a fantastic matchup, but he is 1-4. One player I have above him didn't score as much, but I do like the potential of his team a little bit more. So, yeah, I've got Jai at 8.
At 8, I also have Jai, meaning our power rankings are identical so far. I like the team more than Liam's. It's just about whether they can perform or not. At the moment, not performing. And we say that every week to like every team basically, but I do like your team. If you fix a few weaknesses, I'd say your running backs are a weakness. If you can fix that, I feel like you can turn it around.
At 7, I have Tommy. This is the one team I have above Jai, who scored less than him. Tommy's team is starting to look a bit scary. He's got Debo. He didn't play well this week, just gone, but it's Debo. AJ Brown maybe back from injury this week. He's got Jonathan Taylor maybe playing this week. Travis Etienne now. Lamar Jackson. Yeah, I think Tommy is on the up. We could see him in the top 5 very soon if he keeps winning.
I like that. For my 7, I've had some deliberation, some thoughts, some feelings. After a recent trade I just saw, I've dropped this player. He was my 3 last week. He's my 7 this week. It's Tamati.
Ooh.
You don't be in the top 3 and drop 95 points. That's not something you do.
Yeah.
If you're a good team, you stay at the top. You adapt. Oh, I lost Rashid Rice. Who cares? Everyone loses players. And we see what happens to the bad managers when they do lose players and they start losing. To Tams, you're on fraud watch and you're number 7.
Whoa! I like that. What trade did you see that went through?
The Tank Dell Travis Etienne one makes my number 6 better than being number 7. So and my number 6 beat your ass. So I'll move into that. Tommy is my number 6. He dropped you off. You probably looked at your matchup this week and thought, easy. Don't even need to worry. No Rashid Rice, no worries. No, you lost to Tommy. You scored less than 100 points. And Tommy's making moves to improve his team. You're trying to fleece people. You're trying to sell Juju for a king's ransom. I'm not having it. Tommy, you're number 6. I like your team. Like Braden said, you've got players coming back. You're on the up. And yeah, the sky's the limit for you, my friend.
Damn. I like that. But a controversy, maybe not even controversial. It might not be. It might not even be controversial. It might actually be a factual statement that Jackson just made there. You got me questioning my rankings now since you just did that. At my number 6 as well, after a little bit of thinking too off what you just said, I'm going to switch up my rankings a bit here as well, and I might drop Tamati down to 6. So that drops him down 4 spots for me. Yeah, similar to what you said as well. It's the moves for me. It needs to make some.
I think so.
Tom's at 6 for me this week, I think. But hey, use it as motivation, my friend. My once number 1. Use it as motivation.
Do the Tommy. Tommy uses it as motivation.
Yeah, so Tommy does.
Speaking of Morgs, I've got him at number 5. Another well-managed win for my friend Morgs. He gets what he needs to get done. 130 plus points this week with a whole bunch of random waiver players in there. So, I mean, you're playing thin, so you could have done that. You were experimenting and it paid off. So, yeah, Morgs, number 5. Yeah, managing well. That's why you're our statistical best manager.
At number 5, I'm going to keep myself at 5. I had a good week. Finally, it started to come together. But yeah, I need to see one more week of myself a little bit more consistent. Like Breece Hall for me, he's a stud. Like we know he's a stud, but like, come on, man. Like, he needs to put it together. I'm really confident in Josh Jacobs. Yeah, there's just a couple players who are a bit iffy. Like I said to you, there was some players that picked up this week, and then there was two players who didn't do anything. Again, like Breece Hall and then Chris Olave. Tough defense for Chris Olave. Things aren't going right for Breece Hall, but it's not an excuse. Things need to happen. I'm trying to make some moves. Yeah, number 4, I've got Morgan, my opponent for this week. JJ's on a bye this week. Yeah, Morgan just made some moves. I'm not the biggest fan of Morgan's team, but he's getting results and he's getting scores, so you can't argue against that. And he scored more than me this week, so I'm going to just keep him up there. I think Morgan deserves to be around that top 5. He's the statistical best manager in our league for a reason. He makes moves. Some may think a bit bad. Dumb, bad, boom. But it doesn't matter because Morgan ends up winning overall. He has the highest success rate as a manager in our league. He's made multiple playoffs. So I think Morgan knows what he's doing, even though sometimes he doesn't know what he's doing. It works out for him. So yeah, Morgan, I've got you at 4.
At my number 4 spot, I've got Braden off a win. He's risen 4 spots for me. His team, once it puts it together, is a good team. So hopefully Breece Hall can start doing some bits for you. The Baker Mayfield, Jordan Love decision right each week, and you should be looking good. So apart from maybe like Chris Olave having a few stinkers and seeing what he does with Derek Carr out, we'll see how it goes. It's just a matter of whether your players can consistently do it. But from what I saw last week, that's kind of what I expect from your team. So if it stays like that, yeah, I got you at 4.
At my 3, I have, unfortunately, Jackson, I've got you down 2 spots. You were my number 1 last week. I still really like your team. I like your team more than the other 2 above you. But you unfortunately lost this week. So as we get to these top 3 spots, it's more around record and that sort of thing as well. I do think there's a bit of a couple Mickey Mouse matchups that have happened up the top here. I'm not saying any names in particular, but someone's schedule's about to get a bit tougher, and then we'll see what they're really made out of. I like your team a lot, Jackson. I like your wide receivers. Your running backs still need a bit of work on, but they're doing the job for you right now, like I said last week with your number 1. Your tight end, George Kittle, it's working out for you. Laporta, maybe let's move him on. Let's get some value out of that. You never know. Or maybe move Kittle on.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. I've got some decisions to make, let's just say that.
Yeah. But yeah, overall, I do like your team. I do think that some moves right now would be the best option for you, like maybe getting rid of Deontay Johnson before that offense turns to shit when they start Bryce Young again, because they're probably going to do it. Yeah, I do like your team.
Yeah, that's why I've got myself at 3 as well. I feel like I've got a good team on paper. I got some good depth. Like this past week, putting Javonte Williams in as a bit of a last resort, and he performed well for me. So seeing that, I've fucking had Javonte Williams, I think, in like every team since like 2020. So seeing him like do well is kind of, it's special to me, you know. So yeah, happy with that. Put up 130 something points, so not too frustrated. Definitely need to make some trades, I think. But yeah, it's just about the right price, isn't it? So put myself at 3, but I'm sure I'll be going to number 1 next week when I take that O from somewhere.
Cool. Well, my number 2, I've got Connor. Man, keeps getting it done, doesn't he?
Yeah, I've got him at 2 as well. I don't know how he keeps doing it, but he gets the job done.
Everything Connor touches turns to gold. On paper, Con's team isn't the best, but it's working for him.
Yeah.
Like we said last week, how long will that last? Man, at this stage, it seems like all the regular season. But yeah, we'll see. I've got Connor at 2. Like I said, he's not my favorite team up here, but he's getting those results and he's getting the dubs and he's putting up massive scores too every week. So
yeah, what Braden said. Braden, and he beat me. I think on paper my team is probably better, but hey, you can't argue with the score. Scoreboard. So he's 2 for me. At number 1, all I'm going to say, 5-0. Like, you're 5-0. I hope you enjoyed looking at that O, because you're not going to be looking at it for much longer.
Yep, my number 1 is Bryn as well. 5-0. He's up 2 spots for me. I do think he's had a couple soft matchups. Obviously a couple tough ones, but a couple soft matchups. And now he's coming into a back-to-back tough game, so he's going to lose that O at some stage. I think he's got Jackson this week and then me next week, so we may see a 5-2. But yeah, Bryn's our number 1.
Yeah, well done. You're number one again. But yeah, not for long. Enjoy it while it lasts.
You got any other words to say to Bryn?
No, I feel like how I did in week one. I didn't think I was gonna lose at all. So I'm in that boat again. Just yeah, I play up to my competition. So Bryn's playing well. I'm gonna play well. And I'm gonna defeat him this week. Simple.
All right, sweet. And now we're going to get Connor on the potty.
Fellas,
Hello.
how are we?
Fantastic. How are you?
Yeah, fuck. Well, I mean, I'm pretty stoked, as you probably can tell. I mean, back-to-back weeks against the
Yeah,
podcast,
I thought so.
pretty over the moon. Like, I mean,
Yeah, he's taking down the podcast one by one.
yeah, I know. I was pretty stoked about it. I mean, I just slid in there against Braden by only 10 points. You know, got a couple like late touchdowns against you and ended up scoring a pretty decent score. So, I mean, anything over like 130, I mean, teams had to done something. But yeah, some people stepped up,
Yeah.
some people didn't.
Yeah, happy with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're the tight
tidy
end,
ass,
bro. Who
man.
should Braden pick
I
up?
know. I saw a vision with Tucker Craft and Jay Love and just rolled with it. Couldn't believe I only got him for what, a couple dollars. Tommy
it's kinda
Smith
wild.
should look to picking him up because Mark Andrews is ass. I'm sorry, but he's fucking terrible.
Like
So-
3/4 in, I was like, there's no way Mark Andrews drops 0.03 weeks in a row. And then he got a couple
Yeah,
catches.
I know. Yeah, he got a couple, but I mean, like they look like they're just in a committee there.
Literally.
I need a tight end this week, Connor. So who should I pick up off the waivers, mate? Who's telling you?
I don't know.
Kate
man,
Kate
like,
Otten? Kate Otten, is he how?
Mate, not a bad play. I mean, you got Baker Mayfield there, so yeah. No, we'll see how we go, but yeah, pretty stoked with how everything's gone so far.
Did you see the trade happen?
You just see, yeah, I don't know. Liam just came.
We had
in
a
and
live
fucking-
reaction.
Oh, did you actually?
Live reaction it went through, mate. Oh, I don't know about it. We don't know. We're not really sure
Yeah.
on that trade.
Well, I mean, like he's fucking obviously Tank Bigsby's there. I already hated the trade Liam made the other week. Like, who's given up Kyron for fucking Brian Robertson
Yeah.
in a committee, and then Travis Etienne in basically a committee now with Tank fucking Bigsby. Like that's wild. And now he's literally I think he's just searching for a potential boom player to get him a fucking couple lucky wins.
What are your power rankings, Connor?
Yeah, at 10, I've got Finn. Like, I just think he's struggling across the board. Like, wide receivers are boom bust. His running backs are good, man. Like, this is my hot take on Finn's team. He needs to move Bijan or Derrick Henry. He'll get a wide receiver one. Like, Chubb coming back possibly might revitalize the team. But, like, fuck, I mean, he needs a solid wide receiver that can be scoring him close to 20 each week. And someone will probably pay that for Bijan. I mean, not many people are looking to trade, but I definitely do reckon Finn needs, if he wants to get out from scoring 105 every single fucking week, he's got to make something happen. 9, I've gone a little different. I've gone Jai. Like, I understand he took a very, very tough L.
Yeah.
Nearly pulled Rabbit out of the hat against Braden. I thought, yeah, I was fucking going to have to I would have had to send a box of flowers and some chocolates to you, Braden, because I knew you would have been depressed if you lost that 2v1.
Dude.
But yeah, I mean, like I've offered Jai a couple trades for some players, but honestly, I think he goes to bed and has a wank looking at his roster. Like he doesn't want to move off anyone, and like I feel like he's still riding the fucking teacups at Disneyland 5 years ago, because I mean he hasn't really done much since then. You know, like he hasn't moved on at all. And like I just feel like some of his players are, you know, up and down like a yo-yo. But like as a baseline team, it's pretty good. I just feel like he definitely needs to make some moves. 1 and 4 speaks for itself. I mean, it's a long way back. I mean, ask Braden. Braden pulled off something pretty historic last year and coming back. 8, I've gone Tommy. Probably a bit of disrespect, but I mean, I'm playing him this week. So I thought I'd just...
You can't give him too many flowers.
Yeah, I'll throw some shade his way. Like, I just reckon, like, not only... I don't mind his team. Like, he's going to have a good team in, like, a week or two once everyone's back and healthy and stuff. But, I mean, he's just kind of throwing away 3 weeks. Like, he's fucking given out 3 wins. I know he got some bullshit win over Tammany this week. Congratulations, by the way. That's good effort. But, you know, he can barely break 100. You're not going to win weeks when scoring 104, you know, or whatever he's done like the last 5 weeks. But yeah, I mean, like once AJ Brown and Debo are back, you know, playing some good ball, like maybe waiting was the play, but I don't know. I don't like it as much, to be fair. I feel like he could have moved off them. 7, I've gone Lee, which is after that. I've kind of like had my rankings there before that trade just went through. I don't hate the move because he needs to do something, but I just feel like, I mean, like I just said to him before, I was like, mate, you just traded away your second and third picks for another third pick who you just traded away for like an 8th rounder. Like, it just, the math ain't mathing in my book, if you know what I mean.
Yep.
But yeah, honestly, I thought I was going to have to go down to the pet store and buy Liam a puppy this week because he was the most depressed person on Monday. Like, fuck. But yeah, I'm only putting him at 7 because I'm putting a little bit of respect on his points for. Like, he's actually scored a serious amount compared to the Morgans of the world who somehow scrape by and is always positive in fantasy. Like, it fucking blows me away what that kid does. Yeah, 6, I got Braden. Yeah, honestly, I was worried for a while. I had like fucking, I was seeing more consistency in my shits after a bender than some of your players, but low-key, they've brought it back a little bit. And like this week, they actually showed some promise. Brandon Ayuk scoring well. And like, you are deep, and I do like your team. But yeah, like I was a bit worried about some of your yo-yo players, like up and down, but I can easily see you, progressing towards playoffs. I mean, you just got to get through the first couple of weeks. 5, I've got Morgan. I've only got him there because, like Morgan, of course, he's got a fucking positive record with a bummy ass team. So, like, I got to put a bit of respect on that. Like, bro needs a lotto ticket. I don't know how he wins these weeks with like 120 points and this kind of stuff, but no, he does. And like, everyone thought he made a couple outlandish trades, but he low-key proved them wrong a little bit. So, and they're all playing pretty well. Trading is something that probably Finn and Tommy needed to look at. Like, Morgan made some moves and he was 0-2, and now he's back to 3-2. I don't hate his team. Don't hate his receivers. No Jefferson this week. Probably a massive hit. I think he'll be all right. 4, I've got Tamati. Big loss this week. Underperforming all around. Buys injuries this week coming up for him. It's Josh Allen with CTE loading. So I don't know. It'd be interesting. I still like his squad, and I think he's going to be fine long term. It's deep, but they just need to stand on business because you can't be losing to 109 points when you're like one of the top rated teams. 3, got Jackson. Understandable since you took the biggest loss to a bunch of waiver wire players, but we're going to be fine long term, if you know what I mean. Yeah. Like, I like all your players, love your receivers, you're deep. Like, it's going to be fine. And I think, you're going to have no issues like pushing towards the playoffs. And the thing is, like, players like Terry and Hubbard that low-key have boomed for you recently, who like no one was really high on, like both good players, good pickups. 2, I've got Bryn.
Yeah.
5-0. You can't really deny the run he's on. Nico Collins' injury doesn't really affect his team at all. I mean, it's still stacked across the board. I mean, he put up nearly 150 without Saquon and Hurts. So, I mean, it's something to watch.
He's finally playing some good competition this week.
Yeah, he is. His wide receivers are elite, running backs are elite. And his team's probably, I'd say right now, probably the best on paper.
So who's at number 1?
That's why I'm at number 1. Yeah. Put a crown on my head.
Talk your shit.
Yeah, I will. I just reckon I'm playing the game right now, it's not just about the players you have, it's about making moves. And I haven't exactly made very many trades. I've made one trade for fucking Justin Fields last week, and that's it. I've hit the waiver wire like no one else in the league yet. I've picked up 4 different defenses who've all scored between 15 and 26. I mean, it's stuff that you just can't really write about. Juwan Jennings, 46 points. Tucker Kraft last week, 25 points. People don't want these players, and I'm just picking them up and giving them a spot in the roster. I mean, like, everyone's been writing off my team every single week, and I just reckon it's built for success, I've had the last 2 weeks against you guys, I mean, like, as much as I put up a decent number, I mean, I've got no Tay, no Mixon, no CMC. Hawkinson's still out. You know, I'm happy with my squad. I just reckon you guys had your chance to give me. Everyone had their chance. Don't be surprised if I go 11-3.
All right, well, should we go through matchups
All right,
quickly?
let's
First
go.
matchup this week, we've got... So Connor can say his one first. We've got Finn versus Tamati. Who you taking there, Con?
Got Finn on the upset.
I'm going Finn as well.
Are we going to make it a trifecta? Am I going to take Finn as well? I'm taking Finn too. I do think Finn's going to have a nice week this week. For the Battle of the Bowl, we'll call this, we have Jai versus Liam.
I'm going to tip my hat to Liam.
I'm going to take Jai.
I'm going to take Jai as well.
Next up, we have Jackson versus Bryn. Some may say this is the matchup of the week.
Yeah, I'd probably call it the matchup of the week. I'll take Jackson. I reckon he's going to get over the line.
I agree with you there too, Con. I'm taking Jackson this matchup. Projected 145 points. It's crazy.
It's never a good thing to have everyone picking the same person, but I'm picking myself. I have that feeling that I'm not going to lose this week.
We have Connor versus Tommy. What are we rolling with here, boys?
I'm rolling with myself. Easily.
Enough. Got to do it, eh?
Yeah, 100%.
Last week, Jackson backed Tommy. Is he going to do it again this week?
No, I'm not. Connor.
All right, I'm just going to go against the grain here. I'm going to take Tommy, hoping that AJ Brown's back this week. The final matchup is me versus Morgan.
I'm rolling with it. I'm going to say somehow Morgan's 4-2.
I got Brayden.
I'm going to have to go with myself.
I reckon it's going to be close, man. It'll be fucking close.
It may be another matchup of the week.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Let's match up of the week, me and Brayden. And then the world's quickest hot takes. What do we got for this week?
Hot take. My hot take is that Tommy knocks off Connor. That's my hot take.
Yeah, I don't hate that. Mine's like more of a full season hot take, but I've got Nick Chubb comes back and beats the old Nick Chubb and saves Finn's season. If he decides he needs to move off some players, but like I reckon Nick Chubb could come back and beat him. My other hot take was that Bryn falls back to maybe a 5-2, 5-3 maybe. Like goes on a little cold run, but I reckon he's still got the team to get him to the playoffs. But I reckon he might have a little cold streak.
Is he too focused on making edits instead of being a manager? Is that the question you're throwing up there, Connor?
Possibly.
Yeah, he's getting he's getting everything out.
He's already made Jackson's edit.
Yeah, like while you boys are fucking making edits, I'm sitting there deep in the waiver wire, man, looking for my next guy.
I like that.
You are the one that gives Adam Schefter the news, aren't you?
Yeah, me and Roger get out. He gives me the script the week before and tells me who's going to be the next boom player.
That's the only way you could do it. That's crazy.
Yeah, exactly. You wait to see what defense I put out there this week. It's going to shock the world.
I reckon this week, Keenan Allen has his breakout game. Possibly in his mind a bit, see if he's going to start him or not. But I think Keenan Allen goes crazy this week. I think it's going to be 16 plus.
Thanks for coming on, Con. We appreciate it. And
That's
we'll
fun.
catch. Yeah. No worries. And we'll catch the rest of the boys next week on the next episode.
Yeah, we'll do. All right.
Cool.
Later, man.
See you, bro.
Later. Thank you.